following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Get and Lose. We're starting a podcast. You know who it is. Back again. It's your boy, Cheetah.
It's your boy. World Cup action is here. Stanley Cup Finals is here. And NBA Finals, what a crazy game is your boy Chop.
Why do I always have to follow that?
Always.
That's why.
It's
Yoder.
Yeah, so this week, real quick, this week we're joined by someone who took it upon herself to start searching for answers and kind of became an investigative journalist along the way. So,
hi, my name's Ronni. Here we are. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, very exciting. So, a little backstory real quick. Me and Yoder, we go to this place, Mr. M's, all the time after we record, and Ron used to work there, and that's the first place we met her. And then the other day I was at work, a couple weeks ago I was at work, and my boss was like, oh, I seen this girl on TikTok the other day. I think she'd be good for your pod. She showed me the video, and I'm like, wait, I know that girl. She used to work at Mr. M's. So I reached out to her, and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in coming on and talking about some stuff? And she was like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Ronni, appreciate you for being here.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank
having
you.
me. It's an honor.
Of course.
Really. He lives in his own world, right?
Pretty much.
I'm like the Madonna of the group.
Yeah, we already told her that.
Yeah, I was warned. Pre-warned. So I'll have you be the city administrator once I'm the mayor. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Bring me a little fan here.
Yeah, so why don't you just give us like a quick little rundown of like, how you got into all this? What started this?
So I was really big into like federal politics, right? But I realized you're really... One, I don't like people being mean to me. And so you can't speak about like the presidents and all of that without having it be a battle. And I just don't like to operate that way. Yeah. So I was like, let me take a step back from all that. And I did for a while, and it was peaceful until I almost got hit by a car on Packard Road Bridge. And I was just driving in the right lane. I was like, when the potholes happen, you try to like maneuver, like your way, so you know which way to kind of avoid that big pothole. So I went to the right lane. I was trying, kind of on the grass a little bit because that's better than being in the pothole. And somebody in the left lane realized how large that pothole was that they were about to hit. So they swerve over, and I'm like in the grass now, and I'm in my husband's car. That's the last thing I want to deal with is me crashing his car. So I pulled over, and I was just like, okay, taking a deep breath real quick, and I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to get out and make a video because this is ridiculous. So I did. I got out of the car. It's freezing cold, and I just angrily am taking this video. And then, I don't know, 2 hours go by, and it blows up. And I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, look, people are either mad at that I posted this, that I'm not giving the city enough time, and other people are like, yeah, keep going. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's keep going. So that's just kind of what I did. And then the comment section was a lot of, the city's broke. The city's broke. The city has no money at all. And I'm like, how? Like, how does the city not have money? I know we lost a lot of tax base. And there's only like 45,000 people here, right? Which is crazy. But, I looked into the money because I'm like, we pay almost $7,000 a year in taxes. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of money. So I started looking at just where the funds were. And on the city's website, first of all, they really need an upgrade. That's really, really important. It's very hard to navigate. It's hard to understand things because they don't put the information in language that just a normal person could understand either. So a lot of things I just had to kind of re-research it after reading it. So then I realized quickly that the first thing I learned is that we got $19 million approved from the Empire State. It's a developer through the state of New York. And they gave us $19 million in 2019 called the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but the mayor did post a YouTube video about it back then. It was intended to revitalize Main Street, open up stores again, do landscaping, fix the lighting and all that. That was 7 years ago. So then I was like, okay, well, where did that money go? So then that led me to the next rabbit hole. And I was like, oh, we got a COVID relief fund. Well, how much was that for? $57,208,525. And that was all allocated to us by 2024. And I'm like, well, where the heck did that money go? So then he does have it on the website, about 2 pages of where that money was put to in the city. But there's a lot of lines on there that are like consultants, a lot of vague like spending, like you're not exactly sure where that money went. Something that was really highlighted was $3 million that was intended for women and minority small-owned businesses through the COVID relief fund, right? It was intended for those types of people. And that was actually allocated to the NFC. And after 4 years, apparently. But there was no advertising of it, right? So I know one person who applied for the grant, and it was jumping through hoops in order to get it. Like, she had to own the building. She had to own the building that she was going to operate out of. And if we're talking like a first-time small business, like I don't necessarily think you're going to be owning the business, the building. And not to mention, if you're trying to go on 3rd Street, who owns all those buildings? Monsanto? Is that what the name of it is? I believe it is. So you're not getting in that because they're not selling. I mean, how those buildings have been empty forever. So that's just led me down all of the rabbit holes. And from there on, I started foiling Freedom of Information Law, everybody. FOIA is for the federal government. And I need to say this because people were driving me bananas in my comments. You need to do a FOIA. Okay. But in New York State, we're going to FOIL. I literally went into the website and printed out the FOIL page. So, whatever. But I have about 19 FOILs in. I did get denied 5 of them directly from the mayor himself and his brother, even though I requested them to go to other departments. So they're just ignoring that request and just telling me, no, there's no record of anything that I'm asking for. So that's fun and cool. And I love that. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the wording. So let me do it again. So then I foiled 9 more in different terminology because I understand terminology is really important, especially when you're dealing with a man who used to be a lawyer or a judge. So we're waiting for that. And that's where we're at with that. And I'm having fun. I really am. It's been an experience learning the truth of what's happening here. And it doesn't take a lot of research to put pieces together. It's quite obvious that we are being played with in front of our faces. And it's not enough people will speak up. And I've got hundreds and hundreds of messages from people who work in City Hall or have worked there that are telling me stories that I can't share, out of keeping people's personal interest for themselves, not, any harm or anything. But, people are afraid. People are afraid to say anything in this city. And that is insane to me. So, I just decided to put my courage, the pants on, and just say it. Because, how can you continue to let people be so afraid of our leader? That's insane to me. That's no longer a leader. That is somebody who is using their power for manipulation. And I mean, look around the city. Look around it. So that's pretty much where I started it all and where I'm at.
Wow.
Yeah. I also learned that less than 10% of our registered voters in the city voted in the last local election. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't either. Mm-hmm. I didn't either. I didn't find it important to focus on local elections. Why? I don't know why I didn't, but I feel like that's a common narrative. People just don't pay attention. And on a local level, especially here, our city's so small. Mm-hmm. It matters, deeply. It matters. The moment you speak up on social media, just by the movements of where my videos are going on, speaking at City Hall, your voice gets heard. It really does. And people are so passionate about federal politics, and it's turn it the other way. Bring it back local. bring it back local. So I'm really trying to get people to vote for the next, local election. We have the mayor up for his seat, and we have 2 council members, I'm going to say it, Archie and Perry, up for their seats. So I find it really important for people to get motivated. Like, let's turn the city around. Like, we need millennials. We need young people that aren't going to be bought by the people who keeps buying all the other people, like, and behind closed doors. And it's, like, kind of terrifying to go up against these people because I'm just one wife, one woman, one waitress, one artist. Like, I just, but the support I have on Facebook makes me feel better. It's just, I can understand why people have been so fearful. I'm just hoping to start a movement. Yeah. How do you guys feel about politics?
We don't talk about politics on our show. Our show gets canceled. I'm blaming Cheetah.
Welcome to your new show.
It ain't gonna get canceled from local politics.
No.
They could try, but
I mean, there's not enough people that are like diehard politic fans in this city for it to be controversial, unless I say something out of line, But even still, you almost can say anything out of line considering this administration because of how they operate. City council members, if they go and investigate anything at all, they are shunned. They are treated badly. They do not get information. Do you guys know that the agenda items that the city council members get for the first Wednesday and the last Wednesday of every meeting, right? They have to vote on these things that the mayor wants them to vote on, okay? They get these agenda items the Sunday night before the meeting. Mind you, city council is a part-time job. So they are working full-time and then doing this on the side. And so you give them, last city council meeting, it was an 88-page agenda. 88-page agenda for them to learn and figure it out in 48 hours. It's so, like, things like that, they're not allowed to speak to department heads to investigate anything. Previous mayors had department heads at city council meetings so the people can speak with them, so they can, communicate and have a clear understanding of what's happening in the city that they pay taxes in. And this mayor refuses. And it's just so blatant and obvious of, like, total control he has to have. And it is damaging the city badly.
No. All 3 of us used to, and one still does, work for the casino.
Oh, me too.
Now, when I worked for the casino, the state was always saying that the casino was withholding its fees.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you found out. Are they back on? Or are they?
Your question is as good as mine. So I've been trying to research that. That should be public information. Anything that has to do with money coming in and out of this city is public information, but you can't find that on the internet. Now, I heard that. This is a grapevine talk, so it's not 100% accurate. I heard that his Centennial Park is being built by the funds from the casino, but I can't find record of the funds from the casino. So if somebody else can point me in that direction, please feel free, but I can't find them. So it's like a missing person case over here. I'm just one person, so it's like if somebody else can join in, I'd love that. But yeah, I work there too. Where do you work?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Best department ever.
Yeah, me too. Transportation? Like valet?
Yep.
He's lying.
No, that's what he.
You're not valet.
yeah, he is.
Why aren't you like security or like very
I
tall?
won't be security because
You gotta wear a suit.
no. Here's the other thing why I don't want to be security. When terrorism hits the casino, they're coming at security first.
When what?
Terrorism. If they ever get.
Oh my god, they better not do that, please. Jesus.
Why would you even put that in there?
I don't even want. That's
do you always
crazy.
gotta
Can
take
we
it
just
that
like
way?
not like go aim that to like the power
always
of
gotta
something
take
or
it
something.
that
Not
level.
at the weird place we work.
Last week you made a joke about blowing up Love Canal to get eyes on it.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, we don't need to blow it up. All we need to do is some serious test samples, and then.
By
Well,
the
that's
way,
that's what I posted about because I saw Doc Holliday. Do you guys know who Doc Holliday
yeah, I
is?
started to notice.
Yeah.
I tried to get him on there a couple times.
Yeah, I don't. I tried to speak. I think he's more of like a.
He seems like more of a.
He's
guy
a
who
quiet
can do
guy.
himself,
Yeah. So I just think I saw his video and I was like, whoa. And then he said that he saw other videos from like 3 years ago. So I went and looked and like. I don't know. So I had to go check it out myself. And I had just bought Meta glasses. I'm not against AI. I'm against unregulated data centers. And I'm also against the fact that our city needs anything else at all first.
Literally.
Anyways, so I bought Meta glasses and I'm like, perfect time to use these, right? I don't have to get too close. So I go down there and I'm like, it rained. It's been raining for the couple days. And I said in my video it hasn't rained, but I probably should have worded it differently. Whatever. It's all off the top of the head at the time. So by that time I went, it was 2 p.m. and it was almost 90 degrees and it was sunny. Like there was no puddles anywhere else at all. That puddle hasn't left. Like it won't leave. So, and in the videos it was bubbling, and then you can look that, and I know people are saying it's a bacteria, which it could possibly be. I hope it is a bacteria. Oh my God, I hope it is. It'd be great. But for some reason, it just doesn't seem like it. The metal, there's like a metal plate that runs across the boat dock there where the puddle is, and you can see it literally being like melted away. You have to look closely. But I wasn't getting my face close to that with my Meta glasses on.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess getting loose is going to do experimental.
Yeah. So I have 9 test tubes that I bought because everybody on my comments, love you all so much, are just the best people ever. And I'm going to go ahead and take my personal time and my personal dollars that I work for, and I'm going to take multiple test samples of 9 different areas in that area and send them to a private lab for a lot of money. So you guys are welcome. And I really hope it is just a bacteria. I mean, that'd be great. Honestly, it would be a great. Yeah, and but something inside of me just doesn't think that that's what it is. No matter the our lovely Facebook City Hall page is just the best. They're just like, hey, it's nothing. Trust us.
Hey, you want to hear something funny about
Don't look at that.
You want to hear something funny about the mayor's brother?
Yes.
He can't stand the man.
Yeah, we literally said that.
Yeah. I've been a waitress for 15 years, and I have waitressed in the Falls for a very long time, and I have served the mayor twice. But I don't think I've ever met his brother. Actually, I don't even know what his brother looks like. I wouldn't even be able to recognize him if he was just a man on the street. Like, I just don't care, But you do live in the town of Niagara, which is kind of crazy. I think that's against code. Sorry. They didn't say it. I did. I also said it at the City Hall meeting, too, because the thing is, people don't say the hard things. People refuse to actually say the things that are jaw-dropping or like, oh, my God, like say it. We need to start saying things for what they are. The more you understand what's happening in our reality and you're not afraid of it, the easier we'll be able to address it as a community, because obviously our leaders are negligent. So like, we as the people, you need to stop fighting me in my comments and get on the team so we can fix this place up.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I think, as I say, I notice a lot. I feel like, I know a lot of people that are like that too, where like, they won't want to try and do anything or speak up on anything. They just want to complain about how bad it is.
And, that's another narrative that people say all the time, and people be like, oh, are you just complaining? What I'm doing on Facebook and posting these videos are not for complaints. It is for solely to document our reality in 2026. That is it. I am just showing the world what the city of Niagara Falls looks like in real time. And so many people have a problem with that. And it's like, you don't need to show videos of how bad our city is. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And
Exactly.
you should too. It's embarrassing. And I don't know why anybody's okay with living like this. I'm 31 years old. I'm an artist. My side business, I'm an artist. And I have sold enough pieces to make me feel good about myself. But my gosh, can I find a city, like, can we live in a city where there's like life thriving, where like I can get something to eat past 9 p.m.? Like, why don't people want this? We have hundreds of empty storefronts on 3 different business districts, and I'm confused why we're thinking about opening a data center when we still have all these empty buildings, and we have millions of tourists that come here every year. And every single time I take care of a table and they're like, oh, what is there to do? Can you give us recommendations? No, I can't actually. Unfortunately, I really can't.
Have to go
Because
to Canada.
go to Canada. That's what I say. Or do you like hiking? Do you like to go to parks? Perhaps? Okay. Right. No, you're on vacation. Come on. Like, you want something to do. Like, there's all these empty storefronts. What we should be doing as a community is having the people who have small business ideas or have small businesses open up in these empty storefronts, make these places aesthetically pleasing and cute, giving Lewiston. And then, you know, you can kind of go from there. But then people are going to want to stay in this area because there's shit to do. There's things to see. There's stuff to buy.
It's not rocket
There's
science.
people to meet.
Yeah.
But guess what? Data center. What are you going to drive here? The water away? Our fresh water? I mean, there's not enough regulation for me to be. And if it was super beneficial, if it is the best thing to happen here, why is it that people asking questions is such a tough answer for them? Because if it's something easy, if it's something correct for our community, the answer should be simple, and the question shouldn't make you scared. Period.
Preach. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm just for the people, you know? Like, that's it. I just think that we, the people, need the power brought back to us. Period. There's only 45,000 people in this city. That's it. Like, it blows my mind that even in the first place, when I started looking into all this, that the mayor was so able to just be so negligent the way he is. But I understand it because not enough people are like actively caring about it to say something. But like, the city is so small that like, it doesn't make sense to me as a leader. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's clearly clear that there's no actual intention to make the city better and to have the people thrive. Like, I'm a product of this city. You know, I was born in 1994. Things were already not good here. You know, my parents were in their own vices for a very long time. My sisters were as well. And I grew up in this. Poor. Drugs all around, you know? Drugs. That's, yeah, so, like, you know, so in alcoholism, and then nothing to do, and then, you know, it's just, I see it happening in a loop, in a vicious loop over and over again. I was driving down Niagara Street one day to get to my job, and there was two women shooting up outside of the old pizza oven. They put a Metro bus station on Niagara, on Niagara down there by that corner store. I can't even think of the...
Eddie's.
Thank you. And I don't think anybody waits for the bus there. I just think that, you know, I just saw people dancing with no shoes on, their pants falling down.
Yeah, that's like no-go territory for most of the people I know. They
Yeah,
won't
but
go
I
near it.
live right up the street from
Yeah.
there. And so, like, I'm not fearful of drug addicts, okay? That doesn't scare me. It hurts my heart when I see that because the city is so unhealed. And it's been generation after generation after generation. My mother's a social worker here in the city, and she's helped so many people. And it's just, there's so many more that need help. And it's just like we need better leadership to get us to even to the point where people are able to heal.
Mhm.
You know, it's just
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of the, you know, I knew a lot of people too. I've lived here my whole life too. I was born in '91, and you know, I watched my dad, alcoholism, my brother. You know, he
Yeah.
had problems with stuff like that, and
it's a generational thing. I'm telling you.
I had buddies growing up that all got into
Yep,
drugs and
exactly.
shit like that, and it's like I
I
feel
know
like a
multiple
lot of
people who have passed away.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people have like.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, when they grow up and they kind of just like they're like, oh well, this is, you know, kind
It's
of
the
natural
norm
order
here.
of where my life is gonna go.
Exactly.
I kind of
Exactly.
should just roll with it.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
there's really nothing else that this place offers you. So you're learning from your environment. It makes you as a person, you know. So if you're the people who are teaching you and their environment is alcoholism and drugs and chaos and all of those things, that's only going to trickle down to you. It took a long time for me to beat those odds. You know, like a long time for me to not be so angry, to not be so, you know, caught up in the fact that like, why, woe is me? Because like, why did my family do this? It's environmental at this point, you know, like there's nothing here. So,
Who was me as a band, actually?
yeah, I guess it depends who you're asking. Some people love that shit. But
yeah, I feel like another, like, you know, it's like
Yo, don't start today.
I feel like the drugs of is such a bad thing here too. Like it's huge.
It's just so out in the open, and
Yeah.
it's everywhere, and it's so accessible
good.
to get those things. I mean, my freaking neighbor, my neighbor smokes meth, y'all. And I'm not saying it's not crack. It is hardcore meth. He will mow his lawn at 11:30 at night.
Hey, we did that one time.
He spray painted all over his house. House not for sale. Red spray paint. House not for sale. Stolen deed. Arrow pointing at my home. All because he started smoking meth. The story is his wife left him and his kid, right? Because he got this money. Started doing drugs. Meth. Not just regular drugs. I don't know what regular. Meth, guys, okay? And so everybody left him, and then he went crazy, and then we had a U-Haul out in our driveway. We rented a U-Haul, and he thought we were stealing everything from his house. So for weeks on after, he started spray painting everything all around his outside of his house, and code enforcement, I don't even know where they were. I called them all of the time, and he would like come in our yard, and we have a gate around our house, and he would come in our yard, shine flashlights in our windows.
What?
He would tell us that somebody's running through our yard, and I'm like, it's just your shadow, people. Like, yeah. But that's so normalized here. Like, that's all that the city truly has to offer. And people are going to be like, that's not true. That's not true.
No, it is.
From my end, from how I grew up, from the people that were around me in my environment, that's all there is. Everybody's an alcoholic.
Literally.
I mean, everybody.
Literally.
So, there's no like, I don't know, there's no like theater here. Not movie theater. There's no like theater of the arts except for the NAC, I guess now there is. Never mind. Cross that. But like Riviera, right? Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Rapids.
Or Rapids.
Rapids?
Yeah.
Rapids. I know they're reopening it, but that hasn't been open since I was probably in my early 20s. And I remember seeing something. I saw something there. And that was it. And so Niagara Falls, the city of Niagara Falls, posted a video today.
Rapids closed down a couple years ago because COVID funding.
Yeah.
The owner took.
Fraud.
If you know
Oh, it did? I
Yeah,
didn't know
fraud,
that.
yeah.
It was open a couple years.
Oh, the PPP loan, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Got
know people
caught.
who took those out like personally and like didn't
I
get
one
in
time-
trouble.
One time I was
Literally.
there. See, 7 of us, we were not supposed to be in there because no power. Yeah, we still rocked. Acoustic set happened.
It's a beautiful venue.
Yes.
Oh, I saw Odessa there. That's who it was. But like, there's no that like I said, that $19 million that was given to us in 2019 was supposed to be for Main Street, and there are people like, oh, they painted art. That was donated. That was not bought. So, if that cost $19 million, I don't know. When was that police station built? Does anybody remember?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah. That's,
2019.
I know.
I know.
Was it really?
I know the first and only time I ever got arrested, the old police station was still up and running because I remember going.
Oh my God. Let's talk about that too. Do you know that the lights are on every night? I live
Really?
right over there. They're on every night. You know who pays for that?
Us.
Us.
Oh,
Okay.
of course.
Did
Nice.
you guys see the 5-foot grass that piles up there every summer? What about all the rats running out of there? Do you guys see
Oh,
that? Because
cool.
you should check it out.
Nice.
And the city owns over 500 other properties that are just like that. Then they have the
Awesome.
nerve to send out foreclosure notices. Okay. Make this make sense. And I'm curious what that intention was behind the foreclosure randomly.
Yeah, they
spent
literally
out.
just sent my parents one saying they'd pay the house taxes or they were going to lose their house.
And-
Completely out of nowhere.
Okay, I know somebody who's trying to find people who are.
Yeah, I
could
seen
you-
it. I'm not going to tell my mom.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, because there's a lot of questions. This what we've learned, and there's a lot. There's people who are also have the same intentions as I do, that are active inside the city hall, and we are all understanding that you have to do the investigating yourself, and unfortunately, putting pieces of the puzzle together is the only way, because there's no transparency here, and what we've learned is that you learn who's connected to what, and what, who has the door closed and what their wallet looks like afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're thinking, okay, they just settled on this litigation that they just voted on that had the the lawsuit that we paid for, the taxes paid for, between the mayor and NFR about that parcel of land, which, mind you, has toxic chemicals under it. So even if he wants to build Centennial Park, that's going to have to be capped off. Make that make sense. And where's that money coming from? Oh yeah, you said the casino, right? Yeah. Where's that money at? I don't know, guys. So you just, with the whole foreclosure thing, like where's that actually coming? Like, where did that come from? What is the idea with getting that money? What do you need that for? So I also looked into our reserves. So it went up like $7 million this past 2 years. Where did we get that if our tax base is so low? Where did we get that? And this is the narrative that really started this whole thing, was because we're broke, right? But we're not at all. And then when I looked in the budgets, every single department has undisclosed expenses, thousands of dollars, thousands. And you can FOIL, and you can ask this department, hey, what does this mean? And the mayor's going to email you and be like, there's no record of this. There's not a thing. We haven't had a record since before he was born. Probably back when he was a judge and locked 47 people inside of his courtroom because somebody's cell phone went off. You guys know about that?
I did not know about that.
Yeah, he actually got removed from being a judge by New York State because he had locked 47 people in his courtroom because somebody's cell phone went off and he was trying to hold them all contempt and get them arrested.
Nice. So he's nuts, basically.
He's a narcissist.
Oh, nice.
Full blown. And I'm saying that because, I just see the way he talks to people who go against him. So he refuses to come to city council meetings. Like, he doesn't technically have to. But, like, we're such a small city that, like, if you want to be a good leader, you should probably come to the city council meetings. Like, let's be honest. And, Bridget Miles will say no. Even Vincent Cawley, will say no on an agenda item. And they get punished for it afterwards. Like, Vincent Cawley asked about Fox fences because there was some weird money moving around. Okay, so he called and he inquired himself. The mayor found out about that. The mayor then had them vote on a $114.35 allocation from City Council's fund to the DPW. For what? There was no disclosed information of that other than him checking in with the DPW and investigating, because I told you guys before, they're not allowed to go to departments and investigate anything. So he'll do little things like that to assert his dominance. And it's just like, how do we have a leader like this? This city is so small. It's nonsense. And the more I learn, I had hives, guys. I had hives the one day. I was like, oh my God, what am I allergic to? I'm like, oh, the mayor. The mayor, this administration. Because at one point it was just getting all of this, go look at this, check this out, research this. And I just, I was taking on way too much at once because it was overwhelming. The information of corruption that's visible, that multiple people know but are afraid to speak out about, and they want me to do it, and I will. I don't care. It's just, it just gets hard. It got really hard for a moment, and I had to learn like that balance there. But yeah, man, we really need to, especially millennials, like we need to step up in how we are involved in the city, because the future truly depends on us. I wasn't given, and you weren't given. I don't know when you guys were born, but there was nothing here when I was born. Still, Main Street was done. There was nothing there. There was a little bit on Pine, and then that stopped. And even things on Buffalo Avenue, it's just crazy. And so, do we really want to give the future generations of Niagara Falls nothing again, but drugs and alcohol? And your neighbor being a meth head, and the city owning everything and not cutting the lawn, not bulldozing the houses that are falling apart and condemned.
That's one of the craziest things to me too. I always see they'll be so quick to send out notices for other people not getting their yard work and shit done, but then you got all these abandoned spaces that are just
they own a lot of them.
Like, what do you? You're gonna come at me for not doing it, but you're not even doing it.
And then also all of the landlords who are not from this area, who are extremely negligent, that he doesn't hold accountable.
Oh, of course not.
But the people who actually do live here, so it's just, at what point do we all come together and be like, yo, enough is enough? like this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think enough people knew how bad it was, and that's why I am doing what I'm doing. Not because I am trying to be Petty Betty at all. Like, I would actually love to not do this, actually. Let me just say that. I would love not to have to investigate, spend my free time researching and documenting and planning and organizing. I would love to not do this, but it's like I'm being forced into it because there's nobody else doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm just a call for action is what I'm doing right now. Like, I need people to stand up. Like, I really do. Just showing up to city council meetings is enough. Like, it really is enough.
Yeah.
It's a small step.
And it's got to get to a point where, like you said, it's got to get to a point where it becomes like some sort of a movement for anybody to even start batting an eye at.
Exactly. So, like, even just my investigations that I do, and I speak at City Hall, the mayor mentions me. Like, the mayor knows what I'm talking about. He lied on the YouTube video, and I also have proof of that on my Facebook because somebody from North Carolina saw my reels who used to live in the city, so he probably, has that algorithm or whatever, saw my reels, and he goes, oh, yeah, I saw the mayor's weekly update because he YouTube vlogs every Friday. And he said, that the last city council meeting, there's this person there who's investigating mysterious ARPA funds, but they're not mysterious. You go here on the city website, and you can find it clearly. This man from North Carolina messaged me and goes, hey, so I did exactly what he said to do, and it's not there.
Hey, could we stop talking about the mayor for a second? Let's talk about the sports updates.
No.
Come on, man. Let's talk about sports updates.
No, dude, you can't cut somebody off when they're in the
Go
middle
ahead.
of talking about something.
What is your sports updates? Let's do it.
Who saw that Knicks game last night, y'all? The camp.
Nobody cares.
No, fuck you, Dan.
Did they win? Okay.
Came back to 30 points. Win.
Okay, cool. Moving on. So, perhaps we could be a big enough city to have our own basketball team one day. You know what I mean? What a dream. But yeah, so it's just, I'm just seeing things so clearly that not enough people have taken the time to do, and it's become a job on its own. And I'm happy to do it. I have time. I don't have children. I work part-time. It's fine. But I'm just, more people joining would be lovely, especially the people in my comments who have nothing but judgment towards me and what I'm doing as if it's a bad thing. But, like, you're probably just sitting your ass at home.
Yeah.
Because, like, what do you do here for work?
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
What do you do for work? And I have, every time you guys comment on my stuff, I comment back because it benefits me, no matter what you say. And so I love rage baiting. I don't know if you guys do. Big fan.
Oh,
Big fan of
one of my
rage
favorite
baiting.
things to do.
Yes, it's like, honestly, it's entertainment for
Oh,
me.
so good.
Like, I'm the youngest of 4 girls, so my attitude and my comeback game is on point. So I love it personally when people talk crap because I'm ready.
I like
Locked
to do
and
a lot
loaded,
of it.
baby.
I like to plant a little seed and then just walk away and watch everybody just go at each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not even in the conversation anymore, and you guys are still fighting about it.
Well, at this point, like, people are from, like, other places are defending me because you could clearly see, like, what I'm doing, and these people are just being assholes. But 9 times out of 10, when I find a troll like that on my comments, they usually don't have, like, a Facebook picture, or it's like an animated picture, and they have, like, no friends. And there's this one, I can't, I'm told that the administration has fake Facebooks. Okay.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, so, and I blocked one. Alex Nab is the name of the one guy. Yeah. And he was getting to me the one day. I was like, you know what, screw this guy. He's an asshole. I'm blocking him. Then later I find out it was one of the mayor's page, okay? And so now every time one of those pages comments on my on my reels, I'm like, is this the mayor? Is this the mayor?
No.
I mean, it wouldn't
Nothing to see
surprise
here.
me, honestly.
Yeah. And so, it's just, I'm not a politician, I'm literally just a regular girl. That's it. That's it. And I just don't want to be a politician. And it's like people are forcing my hand to it. I so many people are like, Ronni for mayor. I'm
Oh, yeah,
not
I've been
doing
seeing a
that.
lot of
That's crazy.
Yeah.
First of all, I would paint the office pink. Okay. First of all. And we'd have pink Fridays. Just kidding. But no, I'm not the mayor. I don't ever want to be the mayor. Maybe in my, my 40s. Like, let me live, people. Like, that's crazy. And not to mention, do you guys look around here? Whoever's next has a lot of cleaning up to do. A lot of cleaning up to do. And that's not something I'm going to do. So I appreciate that support. I really do. But it's not for me, folks. It's just not. You know, I was batting an eye with city council because it's a part-time job. I really like working part-time. Freedom's really important, but you really do have to, like, still, like, you know, watch who you are as a person at that point. And I am very much a free-spirited woman. Like, I am an artist. I like to be able to frolic in my garden and go for walks. Like, when I do city council and have to wear a suit, I don't even own that.
Yeah, I could never do something like that just because I've said a lot of cancelable shit.
Me
online.
too.
I've
I've
said
said
a
a
lot
lot.
of shit
I
online.
still say a lot
I'm
of
very
controversial
opinionated,
things.
and
Me too.
I'll just kind of like tell people.
But you know what, though? People love Trump for that. And
true.
that's something that I have
That's
been
true.
talking shit back in my comments, saying the most absurd things, because I'm like, you know what? Trump once made fun of a mentally disabled person on live TV, and I was like, that was fine. That was fine. So, you know, you could call somebody a bitch back that calls you a bitch on your comment section at this point, you know. So, maybe one day, but like not yet, guys. Let me just continue to document and research and give you guys truths and facts and let me just stir the pot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I think another thing that kind of like feeds into, you know, like a lot of kids. Obviously, I don't know what it's like at the high school now, but when I was in high
I'm
school,
curious.
when I was in high school, almost every single one of my teachers, all they'd ever tell us is, graduate high school, get the fuck out of here. Don't stay here. Don't stick around. Because if you stick around, it's never, you know what I mean? You're not going to make,
Because there's not opportunity
you're not going to make
here.
a life for yourself here. That's all they used to tell us
Yes.
constantly.
So, my husband owns a landscaping business. He was in the Navy, you know, his early years, and then he moved to DC, and he lived there for a long time. Now he's back up here, years ago, and then he just opened his landscaping business, and it's been 3 years, and he's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build here, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard, though. Don't try to open up a storefront. I'll tell you that. You can't get one of those. You cannot get one of those in the city for some reason, even though there's hundreds of them empty. And then, like, who are you marketing to? Because if it's not a collective group for a small business, like, if you're not fixing up the entirety of that area, it's not going to matter if you have a storefront on Pine Avenue, because you're not getting people walking that have, like, money in their wallet usually. And I know they just opened up the farmers market in the Pine Plaza. Or Pine Plaza, I'm sorry. Where Goodfellas is. McDonald's.
There's the Pine Plaza.
Is it Pine? I think it's a different name. Pine Plaza's Market. Yeah. That's it. So I know they just did that, and they got a $9 million grant for that. And the last I heard, they didn't have a project planner, and I just found out that they hired a private development group to community orchestrate that. So we'll see what that does. But for me, like, you're not going to get tourists, and you're not going to get, like, people from, like, the town of Niagara coming to this farmer's market because of the conditions of the surrounding area. So, like, have you guys driven up and down Pine lately at all?
I haven't been down there in a while, but last time I was up there, didn't look very great.
Just do me a favor and drive down Pine next time you have a chance. And just, like, message me and let me know what you notice. Because it's bad, you know? And you're not going to have people from town of Niagara, from Leafield, coming to the farmer's market. You're just not. You're absolutely not. It's just, if we don't get on board with a good leader and a good community leads and good people in the departments who actually all have the same goals and same agenda, the city's going to be completely dead in 5 years, I promise you.
They build a data center, I guarantee you.
Oh, if they build the data center, they're done.
That's going to be pretty much the nail in the coffin.
They're done.
Right there.
Yeah, because have we not learned our lesson with Love Canal?
No, they don't care.
No, we haven't. I know we haven't because we're still being lied to about it. And it's just, you know, there's not enough understanding of these data centers to be environmentally safe, even though people are claiming it's a closed loop system. It's a closed loop system. Why does it need our fresh water? Why would we as human beings ever sell something that we need to live for computers? I'm not against AI, and that's it. I'm not against AI. I'm not against social media. I'm not against development. I am not anti-growth, but I'm anti-corruption, anti-secrecy, anti-making deals behind closed doors, wasting taxpayer dollars, even though the intentions were clear from the beginning with you all. You know who I'm talking to here. So, I have a dream of the city being a small business haven again, and think of it like, individual sections, like Main Street having like a theme or whatever, and then like, Highland having their own type of theme, and then like, Pine Avenue, maybe not Little Italy, because I mean, why would we do that again? And then maybe we do something else, and then like, you make it beautiful, and then like Airbnbs are popping up, not just down on where they allowed them to be. They're all over. Maybe people are living here. They're creating legacies for their families. I mean, it sounds like butterflies and rainbows to some people, but I think that we have to stop giving our power to corporations and businesses, billion-dollar businessmen who don't live here in the city. And it's like, we are all we have in the city, and we just keep letting these backdoor deals happen in front of our faces and claim that it didn't happen in front of our faces.
Can I ask you a question? If you had to make an assumption about where you think all this money is going that they claim to be having, what would you say? Where do you think it's going?
So I think that there's a good spider web, right? We'll put the mayor right in the middle, and his constituents inside City Hall are right around him at the base layer of that spider web. And then you have certain businesses, I should say, certain developers, certain realtor groups, certain bar owners who do a certain job that the city should be handling themselves. And there's like extra money behind that. So let's say they say, we need this fence done. We're going to hire Fox Fences for $100,000, but I need city council to approve it. City council approves it. But it actually was $86,000. So the rest of that money, what was that, 14,000? Did I do my math right? The rest of that money is unaccounted for, and there's no trace evidence of it. And what they do with that from thereafter, I don't know, because I don't have their bank account information. But it's quite clear that what they voted for in a lot of the ARPA funds, the total amount is not what they voted on. And so you question, where is that money at? And like I said, the reserve fund that we have has gone up millions of dollars, and it seems like it might be going into that. But then that defeats the purpose of the COVID relief funds. It was solely meant to bring long-term investments to the city, to fix the city up, to give it to small businesses, to beautify it. And it just, so like, I can't technically say where it's going, but it's not going where it's supposed to go. And all it took was a little bit of digging. That's all it took. It was like a 24-hour thing for me, and I was like, whoa. And then I got hives. And then I got hives because, I'd never really looked into it. Like, I just didn't want to. And it's, we have to.
I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's lining their pockets.
Well, that's the thing here. So, like I said, Fox Fences, because we have DPW and we have city workers, and we have these other departments in our city hall. And you're going to see in the city hall budgets that they spend thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on consultants. Who are the consultants and for what? I don't know. And why are you hiring people to run your departments who have to outsource consultants? It seems like that person may not be good for the job then. You shouldn't have to spend our tax dollars or grant money to have outside sources come in and say, hey, this is what you should do, and then don't do it. And then they don't actually do it anyways. And so that's how, people's pockets get lined, because these consultants are private entity firms who are probably friends of the friends. Do you know what I mean? Right. And it's happening on every level in all of these departments. And then I foil and ask, who are these consultants? And there's no records. Not a single record. And it's obvious. It's so obvious in your face that the money's being thrown around and not back to us.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
It's kind of like, to go back to, last week when we talked about Love Canal,
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of basically ignoring it for the longest time until
They made
like
people
Lois
feel
Gibbs, yeah.
delusional. They made
Yeah,
them
like
feel
people like Lois
crazy.
Gibbs created it into a movement, and then they're like, okay, now it's kind of getting to the point where we can't ignore it. We can't
And that's
pretend
why
it's nothing
she's my
anymore.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Lois Gibbs has been my inspiration because before any of this, before I even posted the pothole video, I was planning on doing a documentary series called Niagara Falls: What Remains, because when I look around here and I see it's so like falling to the ground, and I look at the people who still live here, I want to hear their stories. I want to hear what it was like before I was born, because I never got to experience it, and that was intriguing to me. And I also wanted to ask them if they thought that the city could heal, and so that was my first intention. And I never even got to do it yet. I still haven't gotten to do it because all of this came first, out of the blue. But that's what I was going to do, because I've never been in a place that looks like this before. I mean, it's empty. It's a ghost town. It's desolate. It's crumbling, and it's really sad. And so documenting people's legacies that are probably just forgotten people, because I mean, and when you think about the local politics, we are all forgotten and neglected people here. And I just wanted to give people a voice. And so Lois was my inspiration, because I was like, Love Canal was huge here, and it wasn't even that long ago. And she organized and rallied, and she did the damn thing.
She was a badass.
But we also need to give credit to the Black women, because I'm going to say this. I did a lot of research on this recently, and they were called renters. They were never given their names. It was 2 Black women. I still don't know their names. They were renters, and that's what they said. And so I want to give a special shout out to them, because we should.
Yeah,
And
shout out to them for sure.
but the women, just women in general, So they took that and they made their 70s, 1970s housewife aesthetic to be fighters, and they got the shit done, and it became the first environmental movement in America, and that's huge. And so people are still alive that live there.
And
They're still alive. Like, it just happened yesterday.
It was big too, because
Yes.
like even people that don't live here and have never lived here, you bring up Love Canal, they're like, oh yeah, I heard stories about that place.
Yeah, because it was
Like, it got big. Like,
it was
real big.
it was the worst. I mean, from that moment on, I don't know what it was like prior, but for the fact that those two, that company, Hooker Chemical, dumped all that waste there, went over it. The school board bought it for $1. So, like, did the school board know what they used that land for, or did they not disclose it? So right there tells you the lack of care that the people even back then had for any of the other people around them. And it makes you question, like, how did you allow your human self to do that to other humans?
Yeah, it's like, how can somebody be that evil? Like,
Exactly.
You let shit like that happen, and you just
And you knew it.
Yeah.
And you knew it
was happening.
You knew it was going to come out.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, yeah, you know what, we did buy this off of Hooker Chemical, and they did dump 22,000 tons of toxic chemicals in your ground that you're living on. We know this, but no, you guys are actually crazy. You guys are banana sandwich. It didn't happen.
Nope.
And so, like, that's the gaslighting that we still see today. It's the absolute same thing. And I am doing a story on Saturday with 2 people who grew up in Love Canal, because they also still haven't gotten enough, like, coverage. Like, there's so many people who lived in Love Canal that have not been able to tell their story. And so that's my next mission, is to just give people their story to tell, to leave a legacy for them, because it's the very least that we could do as humans after what they endured.
I agree.
It's terrible.
It's just terrible.
It is terrible. And it just feels like we're being left in the dust again.
Well, it's the same as it was back then. They know how bad it is here. They know what's happening. They just don't care, because they're just evil. They're just evil people.
Yeah. So then you have to look at us, right? Then you have to look at all of us sitting on this couch. He wants to talk about sports, right? That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge problem as to why we are where we are, because you can't live in such a small town that is dying and is so corrupt in our faces, that has millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars coming through for possibilities, and not join in on understanding what's happening. because you're not doing your due diligence as an American citizen. Because that is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree.
That is what we're supposed to do. And I mean, it usually takes, a person to get the movement going. I understand that, but the more people that continue just to ignore it, you're not going to have anything left. You're not. My stepdaughter graduates in 4 years, and if things don't straighten up by then, we're out. We're out of here. But I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I don't want to be out of here. I do love it here. My family's here. I went back in my ancestry, and my family has been here since the 1800s. My grandfather, however many greats that was named Uriah Christian Binkley, and he settled here. He was a part of the Mennonite settlers in the 1800s, and he was one of the 5 men who called this the Niagara Settlement. They owned a farm on Pine Avenue. It was called 1 Mile Road, or I could be saying that wrong. And they owned a hotel. It was there. It was a farm. It was, like they sold the groceries out of there. He was the highway supervisor. He was offered multiple positions in politics in the city. So this isn't just because I don't want to do this, okay? But there's something inside of me that is telling me I have to do it. And I think it's, a part of him because he helped create this place. And he was a carpenter, and he built a lot of the stuff, the streets. He made the city and not what it is today, but what it was then.
That's badass.
Yeah, it is really freaking cool. And my family's been here forever, and it's just like, this is not what they wanted. This is not how it was. It was a community forward time. And that's something I am preaching because what's happening in the world around us right now is so up in the air. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen to us. Or anything. And so, like, what you're going to want is if anything bad does happen in this world, in America, you're going to want a community that is strong. And you're going to want a community that has a leader with confidence and plans. And, you want people who are able to protect you, provide for you, keep you safe. You need a community. You're going to need a community. Times are changing. Like, we're hitting our 250th birthday this next month. Do we all know history here? 250 years is usually where, Rome fell. I think, you just don't know. And if you don't start thinking about community, and America's so easy to be so individualistic, that people will be in more trouble. And it's just, you just need a strong people.
Yeah, I mean, not to this is going to sound like a joke, but I don't mean it to be like a joke. I'm just using it as like a, as like a representation. But I don't know if you've ever seen the movie V for Vendetta.
Mm-mm.
That's kind of like what it's going to take at this point. Like in that movie, they basically, near the end of that movie, they get inspired by this one guy who speaks out against how tyrannical their government is.
I'm going to have to watch it then.
Yeah, and they near the end of the movie, that basically it becomes all of these people that are lined up in the streets together, and they're wearing he wears this mask. It's called a Guy Fawkes mask.
Am I gonna have to buy them for everybody in the city?
I mean, that honestly, in the movie, that's what it took. Like,
I know, because
people
people
all
are
lined
scared.
up in the streets, and they were wearing this mask, and they were like,
and did it change?
willing to fight against. Well, I mean, the movie ends before you can really.
Oh, of course it does.
Yeah, but basically the whole symbolism behind it is like that.
That's
These
kind
people,
of how I
finally
feel.
Decide to get up and fight.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
A tyrannical government, basically.
And you
it's
need
a really
that.
good movie.
You have to organize that. You have to have people who are also driven in that same sense to get that going. But people are scared. People don't make moves for their own lives in the city. It's hard getting people to even care about themselves. To think about caring about other people is like, I don't even know how to do that.
I feel like a lot of people. I feel like a mindset of a lot of people that live here now, like my parents. My grandparents. Which was kind of like instilled into me growing up. So like it was hard for me to want to get into stuff because my parents would always just be like, oh, the city's, we're too far gone. There's no point.
But that's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's
I'm just
terrible.
saying. That's like, you know what I mean? That's how.
That's why we're here.
That's what was drilled into their heads growing up. So then they drilled it into our heads.
You got to think about that though. Where did that come from? Where did that thought process come from? Was it from the people who needed them to think that way to continue to fill their pockets? I mean,
pretty much.
Let's think about that. Like you're, being your own thinker is so important. Having the ability to ask questions, analyze, and research on your own and form your own opinions is so important. Like, it makes you a better person when you're able to do that instead of just going with the flow, because we've been going with the flow for a really long time, and the flow is not flowing to benefit any of us in a lot of levels, not just local.
Is there anything else you want to mention real quick? We got another pod coming in. Like 20 minutes,
Sorry.
So. No, you're good. I just want to
I
give you a
just
chance,
want.
if there's anything else you like.
I just want. I just want an administration that's able to communicate with us. I want an administration who's able to give us receipts and documents, especially when it regards into public funds, because it's not their money, it's our money. And I want to be able to look for information without having to go through a FOIL process and wait 30 business days for just a denial anyways. I just want us to get, as the people, to get more involved in this local politics, because it's really genuinely needed. And the best part about that is that we can do something about it. We can actually change things. When I started making those pothole videos, they blew up and went viral. And then 2 weeks later, every single pothole I pointed out got filled. And that's just a small win. Right. That's just a small win, but it's a win. Yeah. And it worked. And it worked. And so, like, that's all it takes as people, as a community. Like, that's it, is we will do changes in numbers, but you just have to have the damn balls. So,
real quick before we get out of here, if this video somehow, some kind of miracle got put in front of the mayor right now, what's one thing you'd want to say to him?
I want to say that, I feel bad for how you have to operate to keep control. And I would imagine that you probably don't sleep well at night, because in order to have any sort of control in the city that you run and operate, you have to show your abuse in the most narcissistic ways. And I would hope that by some way, somehow, which I don't think is possible, that something will come and enlighten you, and you will be able to turn a new leaf before you meet God. Amen.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
Yeah, because, I mean, what I've been looking at is just, evil. Yeah. Straight up.
Well, I mean, I guess that seems as good a place as any to wrap it up.
Yeah. Check on his podcast on Friday and see if he mentions this, And just Mayor, they didn't do anything. You don't even know their names. It's fine.
That's why we use fake names.
Right. And you don't even know where we're at.
Yeah. We get in a lot of conspiracy stuff, so we had to.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of conspiracies too, and that's a problem for me, because, like, I also think about those things as I'm moving through this administration, because you have to. Right. You have to.
These guys will be the first ones to tell you that during COVID, I went down a very deep Jonestown rabbit hole. It literally drove me. Like, I had nightmares.
I've been rabbit holing since 2015, and people thought I was crazy until I read the Epstein files out loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went down the rabbit hole too a couple times.
Oh, that was
I'll
fun.
Have to send you some stuff that you can look into.
No, please don't give me anything else. I can't anymore.
Well, it's hand in hand with the Epstein files. It's pretty crazy.
It matches. Crazy. You can see the pattern. Crazy, yeah, I think that's what I like about conspiracy theories, is that you're able to read something and then connect dots. And I like to connect puzzles. That's why I think I enjoy doing this political shit here too.
But that's gonna be it for us. I mean, I know we got another pod coming in after, so.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for letting me talk your ears off.
No problem. I'd love to have you back.
You did, honestly.
We could talk conspiracy theories next time. I've got a good list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a great list.
We have to wear tinfoil hats, though.
Oh, I'm down.
Okay.
I love conspiracy theories.
Me too. They're so good.
My favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
But, so I guess that's it from us. So
Till next week.
See you guys next week.
Adios.